Here we go. Hi, everyone. This is Andy Goddard and Tiffany Peterson, and we are so excited to be with you at the beginning of 2019. 2018 was a great year, record year for doTERRA, and for us personally in terms of growth and new rank advancements and everything. And we're just thrilled to be on the cusp of something bigger and better and more joyful. So one of the favorite traditions that Natalie and I have as we're wrapping down one year and bringing in a new year, we set apart a couple of hours with Tiffany and we just create the new year. And she asks us some really powerful questions, and it's this beautiful space where we can really reflect on what's worked, think about where our energy is, what activities is it time to wind down, and really just step into this new energy of a new year. And I've been so grateful for that space that Tiffany's created for us. I can't even put a price tag on that experience because it really just sets the whole tone for the year. We, as leaders, I think often we spend so much time working with our leaders and our team and helping them set their goals and set their vision. But I think for a lot of us, we kind of sell ourselves short. Like we just never get that space. And so as Natalie and I were thinking, if there was one gift that we could give to you, our team, our leaders, our comrades, our partners in creation, it would be to hold this space for you. So that's why we invited Tiffany to lead this, because I can't think of a better person on the planet to do that. And Tiffany, being the gracious soul that she is, said, yeah, of course, I'd love to do that. So we just want to honor you, Tiffany, for leading this process and holding this space for all of us. So with that, we'll turn the time over to you, Tiffany.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to be here with you, and welcome home from the Aloha.
Yeah, we had a really great time in Hawaii.
Right. Look at Andy's skin tone, everyone. My skin tone. I am in winter in Salt Lake City.
It's just the lighting.
Right. However, if we're just being 1000% transparent, even after I get home from Hawaii, I still look like this. So part of being a natural redhead is the fair skin, and unless I, use some mist on type tanning. But so good to be with you guys, and I'm excited to create with you. Hopefully all of you have something to take some notes with. If you don't, you'll want that. This is going to be an active workshop versus just chatting and sharing. As Andy was sharing with you all, that there's a series of questions I like my coaching clients to go through to help release the year they've come from and to get intentional about the year they're creating. And so make sure I invite you to grab your notebook, and I also invite you to grab some water, right? Maybe a little bit of lemon or green mandarin or orange in that to help with your citrus. And then I invite you to log off anything else that could be a potential distraction. Is one of your number one things that I already know you'll need and want for 2019 to achieve your goals is to become ninja-like in managing your distractions. How many of you already know that your distractions is a big challenge at times from your success, right? Like how many of you know that already, to say, gosh, I know there's so much more I could be getting done if I wasn't always glued to my phone, or I had this distraction, or my environment or my space, right? Is learning how to be productive. I want you to write something for me in your notes. That would be the statement that my productivity equals my paycheck. Everyone's busy, right? I'm busy, you're busy, the Goddards are busy, your neighbors are busy. It's more of asking ourselves, am I productive? So while this is not a productivity training, it is a help set you up to succeed in 2019 type training. That will definitely be a piece of it. And so I just invite you, if you're currently on your cell phone, go ahead and put it on silent or on do not disturb. If you're on email or social media, go ahead and log off of that. And again, get yourself into a space where you can dial in to be productive. But I am here also. I can see the chat box. If there's anything you want to ask or anything you want to clarify, I'd love for you to engage with me just a little bit. I am going to invite us as we get started here together today is let's do a little bit of review of the year that we've come from. So the first thing I like you to lead out with in the creation of anything new, I do this assignment on a monthly basis. I do it on a yearly basis, quarterly. I do these activities for myself, for clients. As Andy was saying, you know, myself and them, he and Natalie, we've sat down many a time at the end of a year, beginning of a year, and gone through a very similar process. So just know that these are some great gems that can help support you. And I'm also fine if you choose to turn around and share them with your team. I just invite you that whatever feels like you want to share, go ahead and do that. So number one is let's look at for 2018. I want you to title a blank sheet of paper at the top with wins and victories. And let's look at 2018 specifically. And I'd like you to look at the question of what were some of my wins and victories for 2018. Now I'm going to be giving you some of these questions and templates because I want to get as much as we possibly can into the hour. And so we won't necessarily pause but capture them so you can go back through and do all of them in detail. But to give you some time, I want you to start writing at this moment. What were some of your wins and victories for 2018? And I'd love to hear at least one of them in the chat box. So if you'll add that there as well. But think about it. In 2018, did you rank advance perhaps in doTERRA? Did you enroll new people? Even if you enrolled 5 people, maybe you wanted to enroll, or maybe you enrolled 300 people. But wherever you were at, did you have enrollments? Did you rank advance? Did you increase or begin some new health habits, right? Like I love Shannon is saying, I took control of my health. I love that. Courtney's saying she advanced to silver. Congrats, Courtney. So excited for you. But did you read a new book in 2018? Did you invest in your personal or professional growth? Did you declutter? Did you give back to an organization, a church or a charity? Did you tithe your time or resources? Maybe you decluttered or organized, or like myself, a big win for me professionally is we launched a brand new robust, rich website in first quarter of 2018, right? That was a huge labor of love. If you've not been to my website, it's tiffanyspeaks.com, and there's several free gifts and training throughout that site. There's even a tab at the top of at the very top of the site that says free resources. So some powerful things. I love it. Claire saying hit silver for the first time. Heather saying I hit gold, opened her own physical therapy practice. Awesome. Looks like if it's Kristen, it cuts out your name just a little bit. Hit premier twice, 30 years of marriage. Congratulations. Connected with amazing people. Christy saying I doubled my credit score. Awesome, sister. Tamazine is saying rank advanced to platinum. Awesome. Platinum looks real good on you. Decluttered. Advanced to diamond. Congrats, Gianna. Let's see. Wendy says I went on a sourcing trip and served. I love that. Found an amazing leader in Russia. Solidified relationships. Powerful. The Guatemala co-impact sourcing trip. Decluttered the whole house. Doesn't that feel amazing? How many of you have ever read or heard of Marie Kondo, right? There's a lot of energy around her right now. She published a book a few years ago called The Magic Art of Tidying Up. Now on Netflix, they have a series about decluttering. That is definitely my January goal right now is I've been decluttering like you wouldn't believe, right? It's just letting go. I think that energy comes up for me for sure at the first of a year and spring and fall, all that good stuff. Amanda says highest volume ever. I love it. And welcome to new baby. That is so sweet. Ooh, I love this one. Said no to things that didn't bring me joy in my business. Congratulations. Did Diamond Club. Control of your finances. Hit premier 5 times. Finally got to silver. Congratulations. Yes, decluttering. You're all feeling this, right? Let's see. Paid all unsecured debt. Yes, watching the show. The book, The Emotion Code. Great for healing. Survived taking care of my 5-year-old in a body cast for 10 weeks. That's amazing. Diane left a 22-year corporate job and joined my wife full-time. I love that. Paid off personal debt. Some great wins and victories. But I want you to keep doing some journaling to that. Wins and victories. And I like you to look at all kinds of things because sometimes we go, oh, well, did I rank advance? And I love if you did celebrate it, right? Or maybe your largest volume, or like some of you are saying, I solidified relationships or something like that. But I like us to look at all areas of my life. Financially, as some of you are saying, you paid off debt or doubled your credit score. Some of you had a child, right? That's amazing. Some of you, it sounds like maybe really up-leveled some health and things. So some really great things, wins and victories. Let's move on to the next one I want you to consider. And this one I want you to it might take a moment to reflect upon. And there'll likely be more than one. But as you think about 2018, what were some of your life lessons that 2018 showed up to teach you? So sit with that question. What were some of my life lessons in 2018? Go ahead and take a moment to capture some of that. Just ask your heart. For me, this is a powerful question that, especially when I'm in heartache or adversity or resistance, like when that shows up in my life, I love to drop into the question of, what's this here to teach me, right? What's this here to teach me? So looking at 2018, whether you love 2018 or 2018 was terrible, or a mix of the both, it probably was, right? Like it was probably beautiful and messy and incredible and chaotic all at the same time. Right? So think about what was one of, if not a few, what were some of your life lessons for 2018? And again, you'll want that prompt in your journal or your notebook. I want you to drop into that. If you'd like to share in the notes in the chat box, I'd love to connect with some of that. I think Erin's saying, I learned surrender, right? Girlfriend or brother, I'm not sure how because Erin can be both, either one. I learned the same lesson. My goodness, I learned a lot about that. The importance of self-compassion, right? And allowing, as Becca's saying, agency is a gift for everyone, even our own children, figuring out their pathway. Ooh, I love this lesson. Face my fear and put myself out there. Alicia is saying that my business won't build itself. Gosh, isn't that the truth? Oh, I love the lesson of becoming a better listener, self-care, and to forgive. Right? And Courtney's saying that it's a choice, not a feeling, right? That's a lesson I've shared a few times in a few places, is sometimes our feelings are interesting, right? They're powerful and they can keep us stuck somewhere. They can inspire us. They can empower us. They can keep us stuck, but our feelings aren't always truth, but choosing to our values, right? Allowing your values to lead your life, not always your feelings, right? And I'm not talking about your feelings like the still small voice or the Holy Spirit, your intuition, but sometimes our feelings say, I feel really justified to be angry, or really justified to hold on to a grudge, right? And although you likely, all of us have had those wounds at some point of life or another, is choosing our values, right? It's a powerful life lesson. Grace, the past doesn't dictate my future. Amen. Yes, do the things that make my soul happy, right? Gosh, you guys, these are some great lessons. This is one I would invite you to come back through, because I'm asking you, and we're going to move on to the next category. But that is worth your time, is to glean the wisdom gems of what that year was to teach you. Your wins and victories is number one. Number two is, what were my life lessons for the year? And to sit with that, I invite you to make a cup of tea, if that's your thing, or coffee, or your favorite beverage. Grab your notebook and really take some time to say, what was this here to teach me? What were the lessons of this year? And some are going to come in the energy of joy, right? And excitement. And like, I had an incredible fun summer. I played a lot and tried new things. I learned how to wake surf, right, behind a boat. And I loved it. Went boating a lot with some friends, and camping and time in nature. And I learned new things about gardening. I learned how to can. I did canning for the first time ever in my life, where I did it, of, canning a bunch of tomatoes and grew some things like that. Is, I got to learn some new things. So think for yourself. Did I learn some new things? Did I expand? Did I travel to a new place? Is looking at all the categories of your life, but really looking at, what was this year here to teach me? And what were some of the lessons? Is the thing about life, and I shared this on a Facebook Live last week, and some of you I know have seen it. If not, it's still on my Facebook page. You can just go find it and watch it if you're interested. But I shared this because some of us, we're at January 14th right now. We're almost middle of the first month of the year. And I would probably bet that at least one time between January 1st and January 14th, you've at least felt bothered, upset. Maybe you didn't do one of your New Year's goals, or maybe your kids got on your nerves, or you found yourself in judgment of someone else, or some other experience that wouldn't be what we would maybe say as our ideal. But the reality is with some of you may have had by December 31st, all your goals perfectly written out, and maybe your colors perfectly color coordinated, and all your space decluttered and organized, and all the healthiest food in your fridge. And that when the clock struck midnight, you were like, boom, I've got this, we're ready to go. Right? And some of you may have been like, hey, it took me until January 5th or when my kids or whatever to even feel like I was like clear about, wait, do I have the right pants on today? You know, have I, oh my goodness, wait, what day is it? And what are we doing? And maybe I should think about setting some goals. And no matter what your life experience has been the last few weeks, is just inviting you to realize this gem I shared on that Facebook Live is, here's the thing about creation and about the world and the universe we live in. The universe doesn't operate off a calendar. It operates off of energy, right? And universal truths and principles. I think that's worth writing down. The universe doesn't operate off a calendar. It operates off of energy and universal truths and principles. So that's really good news to know. And it's okay, absolutely, to have goals that have time frames, right? Things like Diamond Club and Rake Advancing and tracking our month and month end and all those things. Yet it's being aware is the question that will most serve you this year, is to ask or regularly drop into, am I aligned to the energy of what I want to attract? Am I in harmony with what I want to create? Right? Is that like attracts like is the basic law of attraction premise, and everything is energy. Write that down for me, okay? Everything is energy. So we're going to be talking about energy within yourself and energy within your business as much of our time and template of the rest of our time together today. But I want you to understand that. And so the good news is, for those of you that felt like you kind of stumbled into 2019, or maybe it took you a few days, you know, is for me is the end of December, my holiday season, and the beginning of a new year. You know, my heart was really heavy. The loss of my beloved pup Jeeves, and walking him through the last of his life. He had cancer diagnosed the week of Thanksgiving, and it was heavy. And I don't share that to say anything other than just to be real and authentic, is that my holiday season was different this year, and my New Year's, you know, was different than past years. And I've had to create or let go of a time frame, right? Like last weekend, some of my very favorite women on the planet, great group of friends, we gathered and did a mandala ceremony. And it's a gorgeous, sacred ceremony where you release the year you've come from, and then you co-create and claim the year you're moving into. And we've done this tradition together the last few years. And it didn't work for one of my girlfriends to gather on New Year's. And I truthfully canceled my New Year's plans and chose to stay home and just rest. I just couldn't do it. And I had to honor that, which is not me. I am definitely a FOMO, out there playing and fun. But, you know, you have to honor where you're at. So I'm just sharing that as an example that it took me a couple of days before I was even ready to think about, okay, New Year's and New Year's goals, because it just wasn't relevant. But the good news is that the universe doesn't work off a calendar. It's not like, oh, I missed it, I wasn't all put together by January 1st, forget it. It's like, no, guess what? Any day of the years. So I'm understanding is this is being recorded and you'll get to own it. I would come back to this process monthly, at minimal quarterly, because of the same questions. I'm going to invite you to say the month before, what were your wins and victories? What did the month of January teach you? Or what did first quarter teach you? You know what I'm saying is some of this template that I'm walking you through, you can use all year round, and then invite you to do that. So I just share that as the good news is, guess what? I'm ready now. I'm in creation mode now. I'm still in, you know, nurturing a heart that has some ache to it, but I'm also in a positive of like feeling the excitement of creation and doing new things. So good news is that you get to create anything you want, anytime you want. So let's also now make on a blank sheet of paper, I want you to draw a line down a blank sheet of paper, right, in your notebook. And on the top left-hand side of the column, I want you to write the statement or the phrase less of. And on the right-hand side of that piece of paper, I want you to write the statement more of, right? Less of and more of, with a line down the middle like a T, right? T for Tiff. So I just invite you to go, okay, and let's just do a quick brainstorm. Again, you'll have this template, and you can utilize it and go into it in more depth on your own time frame, right? You're going to have, I would say, plan on to have about an hour to 2 hours this week where you can go through these template of questions in detail, where again, grab that tea this evening and sit down with this, or maybe you block it in your calendar, maybe it's tomorrow morning, it's over the course of your morning ritual. But thinking about, let's just do a quick, let's capture a few. What are some things you know in 2019, or at least the month of January, but in 2019, what are some things you know you want less of? And on the flip side, what are some things you know you want more of? And it can be simple things to big things, but I'm going to give you a minute, about 60 seconds to work on that. And thank you for the love in the chat box. All right, so let's think about this. What's less of? Let's start with that one first. I'd love to hear some of your responses. What do you know you are already clear you want less of in your life moving forward? Less stress. What else? Distractions, absolutely. What else? Maybe clutter, because that's come up for some of us of talking about this, right? Of decluttering. Distractions, fear, less sugar, right? Drama from others, negativity, judgment, financial lack. Want less of excuses and lonely feelings, drama, less financial stress, clutter, less anger, okay? I love it. So let's move over to the other side. More of. What are some things you want more of? And sometimes the less of column, the reason why you stack them like that is so you could literally go down and say, if I want less clutter, the opposite of clutter is I want more flow. I want more peace and order. And you might say, I want more discipline with that, or, support or things like that. Maybe assistance and support. And then on the other side, if you say, I want less lonely feelings, then think what's more of is to say, I want connection, or what are some things that help me feel more connected, right? Or if I want less, like I know one of my things at times that can show up, you might feel the same, as I want less scroll time on social, right? So then you might say, what would I rather be doing more of? Is I've seen some of you talk about reading or play or activities or fun. Physical fitness is going through that. What do you want more of your gut? What do you want more of in your life? I love to ask even the question, what are you craving more of, right? Craving is such a palpable word, but what is your soul craving more of? Oh, I love that. Good belly laughs with friends, results, more travel, intentional work. You're using my favorite word there, intention. Super summers, love it. More trust, interesting. I'm curious about trust. Would that be with yourself or with others, or yes and yes, right? Because a lot of that's where a source of trust comes from, is do I trust myself? And what helps me build my sense of self-trust? There's some great things to look about. Okay, so now I want to ask the specific question. I already just gave you a tee off to it, but the next question I want you to write for me in your notes. So that's technically number 3, activity or template number 3 is the less of, more of, but I think it's wise to go through that entire thing. And so like for one of you I saw wrote less stress, right? Is then the opposite of that, or less sugar. What are some of the things you'd rather be having get into your body in terms of nutrition and wellness and so forth? So I want you to ask the question, I just modeled it for you a little bit, is what am I craving more of, right, in my life? And I invite you to look at that. Can we look at the 4 quadrants? You were emailed out, my understanding, emailed out a couple of documents that I've created. And they're beautiful. And they're, of course, blush pink, because that's my favorite color. Can you see? Like blush pink, right? Often my nails are blush pink, but we did mix that up. But thinking about that quadrant, right? If not, I think that Natalie or Andy placed it in here a little bit earlier. There's a link. Yes, it says success. Is that right, Andy? sharesuccess.com/2019.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So that's got the link to the worksheet.
Okay. So you can download this. You can just there we go. Some of you guys have got it in there. So Christy, I think, is saying was not emailed or doesn't have it, but it's right there, as you can go to that download. And so I want you, we're going to use this as a template, but as I modeled for you the question of what am I craving more of, I just invite you to, let's look at that in the 4 quadrants of you, right? Is nourishing you and your self-care. Remember I asked you already to write down the phrase, everything is energy, And a question I love to use, whether I'm decluttering, making decisions about food in my pantry, when I'm making decisions about partnering with people on projects, right, of individuals and different things I get, shared with me about, is I ask myself this question again, whether I'm looking at the clothes in my closet or my pantry or my cell phone or my social media, is I love to ask the question, does this inspire me or expire me? I invite you to write that down. That's a juicy, juicy, good question, as a great discernment question, right? Does this inspire me or expire me? But as we go through looking at more energy and to create more of the energy that inspires us, and again, modeling the question of what am I craving more of, as we look at those 4 quadrants and we look at physical, right? At the top left-hand corner of looking at physical, I want you to consider what are 2 or 3 things you're craving more of in your physical body, right? For your own increase of energy. Okay, if you want to share a few more in the chat box, I'd love to hear them. More room for trust in God. I love that one. We'll talk about spiritually in just a moment, but craving more muscle mass and hydration. What else are you craving more of physically? And you might say rest, right? Like just ask your body. Your body will tell you right now in this moment, right? This is active lifetime. Ask, and you can, sometimes I'll just close my eyes and ask my heart and I'll say, body, what do you need more of? Your body might say movement or water or hydration or healthy food or self-care. I need a massage, right? Anyone else? I think I need to literally, I'm tuning into that. I'm like, I think I need to get a massage this week, right? Is just truly like for body, or you might say yoga, or I need less noise, right? Your body might say less noise, or I want to sleep better, or I need to be taking my LLV consistently if you're not, right? If you're feeling that. You might say, I need more, certain types of foods or things of that nature. Just ask yourself. And here's the thing. Some of the things bleed from quadrant to quadrant. Like it's not uncommon to say, gosh, meditation is, for instance, showing up in each quadrant. I need that for my body, mind, heart, spirit. Or I really am craving more rest or sleep or decluttering. Isn't that interesting? Is that sometimes I think, gosh, like, to help me have better rest, my bedroom, I might need to declutter that. Your nightstand might be a nightmare and you might need to work on that, right? Reiki, more sleep. Yes. Yes. Rest and nurturing as you grow a child. I love that for sure. Power training. Just asking yourself and tuning into this, my loves, is what am I craving more of? You're the author, right? You're the ultimate coach for you. I'm just here as the space holder, the permission, and the guide that guides you back to the right source, which is yourself. Is if you'll listen to your own heart and soul, they have the answers you're looking for. Does that make sense, right? Oh, I love juicing. I've been juicing the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost every day, at least 5 out of 7 days a week. I'm starting my day with celery juice. I don't know if some of you have heard about the medical medium or learned about this. Some different friends of mine also connected to doTERRA had been sharing this a lot. And I've had a juicer in the past, and I do buy a lot of juice from a local juicery here in Utah. I'm a big fan of V Juicery. As a shout out to them, I'm not sponsored by them, but I really love them here in Utah. But I do like to juice also at home. I've been doing a lot of great celery juice once a day, first thing in the morning, right? Medical Medium is a great resource. You can follow him on Instagram, or his books you can find on Amazon or wherever. But I'm really loving the juicing. I also love what's been shared, freshly prepared foods and maybe say meal planning, things like that. But I love, right? Just tuning in and asking your body, right? So come up with, ideally, maybe you come up with 10 things in that quadrant, but I want you to just zero in on, say, the 1 or 2 things that you're going to focus on in the month of January. Okay. Let's move over to top right. Top right-hand quadrant says, we're looking at for ourselves that self-care quadrant of spiritual, right? And whatever spiritual means to you, it's different things for different people. For some of us, it's religious and spiritual. They're the same. For some of you, they're distinctly different. But spirituality is looking and checking into how's your spirit? How's your connection to your source, to God, to universe? How's your connection to your purpose, right? I would put purpose in this quadrant as well if you want to write that down. Is your purpose fuels your life? And I want to expand on this here in how this definitely influences foundationally your business, okay? But looking at spiritually, asking yourself, what am I craving more of? And you might say meditation or prayer time or time to journal or get back into my gratitude journal, or it's time for service and really showing up that way. Or it might be Bible study or reading. It could be yoga. It could be time in nature. You will know for you. I am very curious if you'll share some in the chat box. What are some of the things that come up for you? How do you spiritually connect? What nourishes you spiritually and that you're feeling drawn to having more of in your life, at least in this season, maybe for the whole year, but at least for right now? Miracle morning, nature time, nature and yoga, being outside. Yes. See, right before I got on this session, as I took about 10 minutes and just put on my snow boots and went outside to just breathe in fresh air, to really get grounded, got into prayer, to really wanting to show up to be of service to y'all here today, right? There's my Southern girl, and I'm not Southern, but I believe I am on the inside, right? But really was to show up for y'all is I wanted to just connect, is that my work is spiritually driven. Right? How many of you really feel that in doTERRA, that your work is spiritually driven, right? I know for me, it's a big part of it. And that's when I say is being purpose driven. I want you to write this statement down for me. I am a purpose driven leader. I coach people of all walks of life in all businesses and industries. There's a beautiful friend I'm connecting with and I'm coaching directly, formally right now. She's also a presidential diamond. And one of the things we worked on beginning last fall with her is just re-anchoring back to purpose, right? So those of you that are saying stress has been up for you and you want less stress, then I'm going to say one way we alter or we level out your stress is to put you back in purpose, right? Does that have resonance, right? Are you being purpose driven? Have you defined your purpose or declared it? And your purpose doesn't have to be this big thing with beautiful flowery words. It could be, I believe, like most all spiritual texts, or even like Wayne Dyer, who I was listening to on my walk this morning, my own daily movement that I'm committed to and accountable to is daily movement for me, right? You can ask me about that anytime you want. Did you do your daily movement today, Tiff? And I'll say, thank you for the ask. And yes, I did, right? But on my daily walk today, I was listening to Wayne Dyer, and one of his things and statements is he says, your purpose is found in service, right? My purpose is found in service. And so one of the ways that you grow a solid business and one of the ways you stay anchored in the joy, out of the stress, out of the fret, out of the frustration is come back to purpose, right? So maybe one of your takeaways is that you go, I need to have a purpose declaration, a purpose statement, and I want it on my mirror in my bathroom or on my desktop or as the wallpaper on my cell phone, but to remind you that I am a conduit of service and love. I'm here to bless more lives. The more you come from the energy of being a blessing, being of service, connected to your purpose, connected to your spirit, your business will thrive. As the great Marianne Williamson has said, your business is your ministry. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And so whether people, like I spoke to the Women's Realtor Association here in Utah last week, and whether you're a realtor or you're an incredible wellness advocate and you're a diamond or a silver or presidential or premier or wherever you're at in the business, really whatever we're up to in life, we come back to purpose and to service. But I think it's helpful is how will you anchor that? How will you practice the ritual? Because when I'm saying this right now, how many of you are going, yes, this resonates. I get it, sisters. I get it, and I'm on it. You go, yes, I know that. But like moving my body, I can know that exercise is good for me. Like I can know that purpose is good for me. How will I review it? How does it get into me regularly that I'm reminded, mind, and in spirit that I come back to it regularly. And so maybe making it part of your miracle morning, your morning routine, right? Your morning ritual is some way that you go, I'm going to anchor back to this on a daily basis. It's if you want to be powerful, right? And influential, it will come from purpose, right? There is great power and great peace when we're purpose driven, right? But asking yourself, we're still in the top right-hand quadrant, what are ways that help nourish your spiritual connection?
Bottom left-hand quadrant, as you can see on that worksheet, is emotion or emotional, or I also call this the joy list. For those of you that have been through my Success Academy program, you've created a joy list with me alongside of several other activities. You can find this on my YouTube channel. Is a 3-part video series called Self-Care Equals Success, parts 1, 2, and 3. Make a note to yourself, highlight it, circle it, star it, and I want you to watch the video part 3 in that 3-part series, part 1, 2, and 3, right? Watch part 3 to talk about the joy list. But your contentment, where's your joy and your contentment, right? Emotional is feeling like, gosh, my life has joy, has contentment, has purpose. I'm feeling good. I'm doing things that lift me, right? Is you are the creator of your own happiness. It's on you. And so I'm going to ask you as your coach in this moment is to think about, am I actively cultivating more joy in my life, right? One of my good friends talks about the phrase choose joy, that it's always a choice, right? As it's always been said, already been said earlier today. I think Courtney popped that in about forgiveness. Well, same thing with joy is a choice, not just a feeling. We can feel joyful. That's, the fruit of it. But what are certain things that help you feel more joy? If it's reading, a cup of tea, going on a walk, playing golf, travel, maybe you love to knit, or you love to, your movies are your thing, right? Or a hot soak, or gardening, or whatever the things might be. But what are some of the things, what are you craving more of in the joy side of your life? What would bring you a little more joy? And a lot of times it's the little things, right? It doesn't have to be big things. You might say, well, hey, after the holidays, maybe you're feeling like resources are tight and you're feeling like I don't have a lot of extra play money, but maybe you say, having clean sheets or fresh flowers in my home. Like right now, look at these beauties, right? Aren't those so pretty, so feminine? I bought those for myself on Friday. I participated in this beautiful workshop with a woman out of New York on Saturday for a couple of hours called The Art of the Radiant Woman. And all about just like, I'm definitely clear about indulging more of the feminine. I've already been on this path for a long time, is really activating the divine feminine and the expansion of that. And that's where a lot of the self-care conversation comes. But whether you feel more feminine or masculine, either is beautiful and great. It's just tuning into like, you might say, hey, I think these flowers cost me $10, right? So it wasn't like, hey, this big thing that I got, I think at Whole Foods or something like that. But it's looking at, you go, maybe clean sheets or cleaning out my pantry or taking a hot soak with my essential oils and some great Epsom bath salts. And I'm going to really do a facial and, do some great self-care at home. It doesn't always have to cost money. And you'll find that on the joy list is I invite you to create a joy list where 24 things total, 12 things at least to get started. You can obviously go up to as many things as you want on a joy list. But to have one side of your list, similar to the less of and more of list, is one side is costs money and one side does not. And that you keep creating things that bring you joy and that put you in to a place of abundance. See, I want you to think about this. We're going to get into something juicy right here. I can feel it. It's percolating. So get ready to write this down, right? I can feel like this moment coming. Also, to quote my brother Wayne Dyer, he says this: abundance is not something we acquire, but something we tune into. Right? It's just tuning in. Like right now, you tuned in on this Zoom training today and you tuned in, but if you chose not to tune in, it would still be taking place, right? Abundance is around you already. And it's more about how do I activate the feelings of abundance? What helps me feel more abundant when we talk about manifesting? So if you're clear, you want to go to a new rank, right? Like you're ready this year. I'm curious, how many of you, let's just claim that right now. I promise we're going to continue through this worksheet. But right now, I'd like you to claim, what rank are you going in 2019? What's your next rank? Own it loud and proud. I love it. Diamond, platinum, gold, gold, platinum, diamond, gold, 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 silver. I feel like I'm rapping, right? Like I have a rhyme. I love this. Oh, I'm making someone nervous. And I'm doing my job. Andy, I'm doing my job. Someone's getting nervous. It's not good coaching until you sweat a little.
That's right. Good sign. 2 thumbs up.
Okay, I love it. Love it. Blue. Look at Alicia's comment in the chat box. There we go. We're really in it, sister. Good job. She's playing full out. That's what we might say. Okay, so let's talk about this, though, is I want you to take that rank right now. And I want you to drop into what will it feel like. Go ahead and close your eyes for me. I'm not going to hypnotize you. I don't know how to do that yet. It's on my goals for 2019. I'm just kidding. Okay? But go ahead, seriously, and just take a deep breath. I love to put one hand on my heart when I'm tuning into. Get in touch with this life force. Feel that heartbeat. We're grateful for that heartbeat. That breath of life, that life force that's here. And feel into what my friend Ariel Ford would call a feelingization. There's visualization, which is so potent. But also drop into what will it feel like? What will it feel like when you're diamond, solid silver, platinum, gold, diamond, blue diamond, whatever your rank is, and stay out of any comparison thoughts. Just breathe into that silver, the solid silver or gold. Gold's one of my favorite colors. Gold, diamond, blue, platinum. What will it feel like when you are that? Become aware. Can you feel the energy? Feel the energy on, like, again, the palm of your hand on your heart. You may even put your hands together. Sometimes you start to do this motion, right? Rub your hands together. Start to feel the heat. It's like there's life force in you. And right now, whereas the conscious mind, we're saying, we're choosing this. And we say, okay, what would that feel like? So I'm curious. Take a deep breath into that feeling. What will it feel like? Okay. So tell me some of the feelings. You're already him or her. You're at convention. You're crossing the stage. They're acknowledging you. Congratulations. What does it feel like? Oh, Wendy Fraser's here. Hi, honey. Alive, free, bursting with joy and gratitude, empowering and freedom, safe. Christy's saying scary. So let's breathe into that. How about exciting? Is the body responds to the same experience that way. Full of love, accomplished, overflowing, playful, crying with joy. Oh, I love that, Siva. Thank you. Freedom, excitement. A single tear fell down my face. Joy. Oh, this is making my heart so happy. Okay. So breathe into, let's write some of these feelings down. Come up with 3 feelings. Thrilling, relieved, freedom, gratitude, joy, empowerment. Feel into that. Are we clear on the feeling? Or at least 2 or 3 of them? And now I want you to brainstorm, and this would again be under your joy quadrant. What's one thing I can do right now that will help me activate that feeling? Right? And you might say, what's in the same lane? Like, right? Like if they travel in the same lane is what we can start doing right now today to activate that feeling regularly for you. And it might be listening to your song you're going to play at gala when they announce you and announce your new rank. And you might crank that up, and you might have a dance off in your kitchen, right? Or in your car, right? My car sometimes turns into like a moving club where it's just me, like party of one, but having a good time with that. But it's being aware is like, okay, dancing. Or right now, what bring me joy? I'm going to put fresh flowers. That feels celebratory. Or what might feel like freedom is going for a run. Like I want to move my body, and the freedom that my legs work and I can walk, let alone run if I can. How grateful we are to have that. You might say the freedom of that. Or again, decluttering a closet might open up the energy. Or when I feel tears of joy, it's I'm serving someone else, right? Because all of you, the way you're getting to your next rank is you're going to serve more people. And the joy of that. So you see what we're talking about is in your joy quadrant is activating already the abundance. It's not something you acquire. It's something you tune into. Everything you just said already exists. Do you get that? Like it's already in existence. It's just a matter of time. But remember, the universe doesn't work off a calendar. It works off energy. So it's more so, are you in alignment with the energy to have the very thing that you want? Do you see how all roads come back to when I said you'll understand the power of that statement as we go through this is that It isn't about, yes, a calendar and about numbers for sure. And we track those things. But you know what? Those things don't give you life force. What gives you life force is doing the actions that put you in the energetic alignment. So when I say, are you energetically aligned? Everything's energy. So right now you have to start asking yourself questions like, how does a presidential diamond carry herself or himself? Or how does a solid silver, how do they dress? How do they think, speak? Is their car cleaned out on the inside, right? I just did that because I did a goals training with a group on Friday. And we all took an accountability of something we were going to clean up, right? As part of how you receive something new is you make room for it. If you'd like to participate in that, we can do that as well as an activity. If you want to be accountable to that, I'm happy to share. But it's just being aware that, again, everything's energy. So all the emotions I just tapped you into, is how do you regularly practice feeling that so it becomes familiar and you more often are in joy and excitement and feeling thrilled and relieved and free and grateful. Does this resonate? Am I in the right place today on this Monday, January 14th? Am I in the right place? Okay. Yes, yes. Some amen. Lots of yeses. Great. Love it. So it's practicing your joy. Do you now get the connection why I'm saying to you and why I coach, and I've coached this for years, is you must prioritize your joy, right? Andy already knows what this, but I'm going to share it briefly, is when I very first started coaching, it was with Natalie out of the gate, and then we started doing work together as them as a couple. But my very first coaching session with Natalie, they were Blue Diamond at the time. This is coming up on 7 years ago in the spring. And when we started working together, maybe it's 8, I think it's 7 or 8. But anyway, when I made very first coaching session with her, my first question to her, because as she was sharing, here's what I want to go presidential, right? And I said, okay, well, let me ask you this. I'm curious, little sales tip training tucked in there, although this is not a sales training. Sales is a big part of your success, right? You can ask any question you want when you lead out with the phrase, I'm just curious. But I said to Natalie, I said, I'm curious, have you ever celebrated going Blue Diamond? And her answer was no. As it is 99% of the time. Is that celebration for what she'd already achieved and what her and Andy had already created. They had not really celebrated it yet. So I said, first assignment is we celebrate. We get into the joy. We anchor the gratitude. We acknowledge where we've come. So if you haven't yet celebrated your silver or gold or platinum or diamond or blue or presidential or wherever you're at in this beautiful journey, that's one of your assignments then, I would say 100% is to activate that joy, center that joy, and that you yourself do some kind of celebration. So if it's getting yourself fresh flowers, you treat yourself to a massage, you go to Topgolf and play if that's fun for you, you go to the bookstore, buy a new journal, whatever it might be for you, is if you have not yet celebrated your already existence of your success, even though I'm clear, see, a lot of times why people don't celebrate is because they're saying, I know, but I want the next level. And that's fantastic. But see celebration as fuel in the tank. Write that down. Celebration for yourself and for your leaders is fuel in the tank. So it's a really important piece. Recognition always shows up even before money, like in corporate surveys of what people want from the places they work from. Well, even though we're not corporate employed, we still as humans have the same need of recognition, right? So it's knowing for yourself to give yourself that love and that recognition, but as well as a leader that you're recognizing and acknowledging the people on your team as they also progress, right? The power of that. Ooh, this is so juicy, right? Any thoughts, comments, questions so far? We'll definitely leave some room at the end for that. I want to just hit that last quadrant is mental or mindset, right? Is energetically, remember the question we led into in this whole grid system is, what am I craving more of? So come up with 2 or 3 things in that bottom right-hand quadrant of mental is, how's your mindset? And it could be a couple of things. It could be saying things like meditation. Are you nourishing your brain? Like most of us probably shower or bathe every day. But do we wash our mind? Do we create space for quiet of our mind? And that might be prayer, meditation, or again, a walk in nature. Some of these things, see how they cross over? For me, like today, the walk, I went on about a 30-minute walk today, got all bundled up and went on this great walk. And part of that walk, I was listening also to some Wayne Dyer, a book on tape. Well, tape, hello. It's not on tape, it's on Audible. Did I just date myself? Book on tape. I love it. But I'm listening to his book on Audible about, the power of intention, one of my classics. I love to go back to some of my classics, and I'm listening to that, but I'm moving my body. And there's also a point in time where it was just also quiet, and just was allowing that. So see, some of these quadrants, you can do all four at the same time, where you're like, I love to be in nature. I need to move my body. It's good for my spirit. I'm thinking gratitude thoughts, or maybe I'm having a prayer walk. And then maybe mentally I start to listen through part of that to some great content. See what I'm saying? Sometimes you can say, wow, I'm really like maximizing my self-care here. For the maximizers and the strength finders in the group, that's one thought to consider, right? But it's looking at mindset. Could also be, what are you listening to? What are you reading, right? At some level, being here in this training today is a mindset training. We're touching on other things, and we're doing some strategy work as well. And we're going to get into some more of that as we spend some time. But it's just knowing, like, we're here really nourishing your mind again into some truths. Some of the things I've shared with you aren't necessarily new. We're just doing renewing to them. It's similar for me, why I go to worship services every Sunday. I can connect with God wherever I'm at. But why do I intentionally love to go to worship services every Sunday? I do that because I do it for renewal, right? Not because sometimes it isn't about being taught new things, but being renewed into purpose, renewed in my heart, renewed in my relationship for me. And there's a lot of ways you can practice renewal, but it's like, how do we clean the mind? How do we nourish the mind? How do we clean it out? How do we proactively develop it? Visualization is a great mindset as well, or mental activity. Are you actively visualizing? Because you see, your mind sees in pictures, it sees in images, which is why some of you, when we dropped you into the feeling of imagine your next rank, see yourself receiving that award and that next, recognition and advancement, or see yourself, doing these various things. It's like, wow, we can really activate some things. Visualization is a great tool, or feelingization, right? The combination of the two. Creating a vision board, right? How many of you have an active, up-to-date vision board? I literally just finished mine over the weekend. I'd started it in November, and about 90% of it was done. I just added in a couple of things. And it's beautiful, and it inspires me, right? If you've not done a vision board in a few years, go to your current one that you have and ask, does this still inspire me? Does it lift me? And some things might still be accurate, and some things may not be. And if it's been a while since you've done one, or you've never done one, a vision board is a combination of images, words, symbols that inspire you. Like my vision board is, oh man, it's a combination of spiritual, business, self-care, relationships, financial, contribution, giving back. And I just love it, but it's a bunch of images and then some words or phrases. Some of them are pictures of me, of myself I had printed at Costco. How I've most created my vision board is finding images on Pinterest, saving them to my phone, uploading them to the Costco photo app, and printing them off that way. And so some of them are me speaking on large stages, or creating like my cabin experience. One is a woman. I don't know if I should share this. One is a woman in doTERRA who I met at the 2017 convention. And it was what I call a God intersection, right? Where that experience of her sharing something with me about the work that I had done, and I didn't know her, but she participated in how it had changed her life, was so centering and reminding of, this is why I do the work, is for this one, right? And I had that printed of her and I, that photo of she and I at your convention 2017 printed off. And that, I was telling my mom about this story last night. I said, I want to show you my vision board. My mom had stopped by. And we were talking about it, and I told her the story, and we were both in tears. And I just said, she's the reason I do the work I do, is you never know, right? Like the things you're sharing on social, or your classes and the lives you're touching. Do you guys get it? Like, I forget it even myself, but you guys are doing work that literally changes people's lives. And that, to me, that kind of purpose, that is like in the middle of my vision board. right? And it's new things I want to attract. And some of it's being, doing, and having, right? Things you want to be, do, and have. And that is saying, okay, I want to create vision of that. And maybe it's places you want to travel, self-care habits you want to implement, fitness, your business, your ranks, your service, your contribution. I definitely make service and contribution a really big part of your vision, because that's really what it's about too, right? And then the process is, if you're focused on helping more people get their needs met, then you will also have so much abundance come back to you. So it's so, so powerful. I love it, right? If you need anything other support, how many of you are going to commit to a vision board if you don't currently have one? Okay. Committed? We here? Okay. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it might take a little bit of time. Oh, I love it. Wendy, it's already done. I would love to see them. If you guys want to like take a picture, send it to me on Instagram or Facebook. You can send it private message, or if you put it out there publicly, you want to tag me in it. Either way, I truly love to see them. So if you want to send it to me, if you already have it, or once it's done, send it to me. I'd love to see it. Can we also commit in this quadrant under the mental and mindset? Can we all take on to say, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you take it on, I'm going to expect you to honor your word and to do it, right? Because one of the most critical things for all of us to create more of what we want in life is integrity, which just means we're integrity with our own word, right? Powerful. So if you want to take this on, I invite you to commit to cleaning up a space this week. At least 1 hour. You might choose to do more. Last weekend, I chose to clean out the interior of my car. Cleaned out, it just had gotten, from over the holidays, stuff and this and that. And so I cleaned out my car, right? Feels amazing. You might want to clean out your nightstand or your sock drawer. And some of you, I'm just here to say, it's time to let go of those loaner socks that you've been holding on to for, years, thinking maybe someday, hopefully in some way or fashion, that socks friend and its matching, pair is going to come back. It's not. Right? But maybe it's your sock drawer. Maybe it's your desk. Maybe it's your inbox. Maybe it's your purse. Similar, maybe it's your closet, right? How about that's one way we decrease mental clutter is physical clutter, right? Is the energy of the space that we're in. So if you're on board with that, tell me in the chat box what space you're going to organize. And again, you don't commit to saying, I got to do my whole garage, or I need, a whole week to get my house in order. No, but we say, okay, I'm going to make progress with this. And what's one area I'm going to focus on? All right, we've got nightstand, closet, dresser, organize your kitchen. Yes, I'm going to commit to my pantry and mudroom area. Definitely is what is next for me, right? Sewing area, pantry, love it. Nightstand, basement, bedroom. Yes, for sure. If you're not sure where to start, I would start in the bedroom if your bedroom's messy, because the place where you sleep is your sanctuary, and I would up-level that first, right? And then an office space is fantastic where you make money, right? Is to invite the muse, to invite creative flow. It doesn't, I don't think it means it has to be like everything is, but you do need some degree of order to invite new creativity, right? I love it. Gosh, this is good stuff. How's that feeling so far? That's just your first worksheet and one of your first templates. We have a second one I would like to go through. Timing wise, we're right at the hour. So we're an hour in. Would you be okay to hang in with me for about another 20 minutes at least, maybe 30? If you want the support, I'd love to go. I know Andy and I talked about initially an hour, but if you would like, I'd be willing to stay with you for another 30 to go through some other templates that I think are valuable. Okay, awesome. Lots of yeses in the chat box, so let's do that. But really, truly, first and foremost, I'm going to ask before we move on to our next template and our next strategy focus, is I'm going to ask that you make a decision in your heart of hearts. As you look at this worksheet, that you hopefully, if you haven't printed it off, print it off, right? And if you want to fill it out and, again, send me an image of that, I'd love to see it. But it's looking at those 4 quadrants from physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental. And now you probably see a little more depth to each one of those, of the power of this is energy that will fuel your life. It will fuel your marriage. It will improve your marriage. If you really commit to those things, it will improve your relationships. It will improve your home. It will improve your doTERRA business. Everything is energy, loves. And it's being intentional about, okay, am I giving myself the necessary fuel, right? How many of you might say, I don't know if I have enough time to achieve my goals. And while I say that, yes, however, with a big asterisk, what you're really after is energy. We've all had the experience where maybe it's, say, we got home, let's say for those of us that have been corporate employed. And some of you might still be corporate employed and building doTERRA on the side. That's either one's great. But I know when I was still corporate employed, I'd get home from the office, right? And I've been on my own. I crossed my celebrated my 9-year mark, January 4th, right? Is the birthday to the Lighthouse Principles. Happy birthday, Lighthouse Principles. 9 years, right? My 10-year, I think I'm already planning. I think I'm going to host a big party. And if you want to come, let's do that. But next January, to celebrate my 10-year anniversary of being self-employed, I think I'm going to create that. But here's the thing. When I was still corporate employed, I'd get home at maybe say 6 p.m. in the evening, I was home. And I technically, in some evenings, let's say that I didn't have something scheduled. I had maybe say 3 or 4 hours that I could work on my goals. I could go work out. I could read a book or write or organize or declutter, or I could go serve someone. You know what, though? A lot of times I wouldn't. Why? Not because I didn't have enough time. I technically had 3 or 4 hours, but I was cooked. I didn't have the energy, right? And so a lot of what you're looking for is energy. And a lot of, can I just get so direct with a lot of love, though? I will make you a strong promise that if you live and up-level your self-care, mind, body, heart, spirit, and I don't just mean tinker with it. We can all tinker, right? I mean commit. Like, I'm getting married to myself this year, right? Or even if that feels like too long, this month, I'm really going to up-level this. It's not about perfection. It never is. It's about commitment, right? Perfect no, commitment yes is what I like to say is, are you committed to yourself? Are you committed to your own sense of relationship? Because see, what everyone else that you serve or that you come in contact with, they're going to be drawn to you or want to work with you, or they're going to want what you've got because of your energy. And so while no one, including myself, energy is perfect, we can be committed to saying, I take care of my body. I take care of my mind. I invest in my heart and my joy. I invest in my spirit. Is I'm worth the investment. And again, if we're just getting started, we care more about the power of the habits than the amount of time. So maybe you've heard about things like a morning ritual. Again, my YouTube channel has lots of videos, so I'm not going to use our time to go through all those teachings. But get familiar with my YouTube channel and get familiar with my website. My YouTube channel is just my name, and my website's tiffanyspeaks.com, because there's lots and lots of free training and paid for training there that's really robust and really rich that you can go through. But let's say you decide to go, okay, I'm going to take 20 minutes every morning for me. Before I'm in mom or dad mode, before I'm in doTERRA business mode, before I'm on my cell phone and lost in the abyss of distraction, I'm going to get up and go on a walk, and I'm going to talk to God, while then I also listen to something good, and I'm going to nourish myself. That's it. But I'm going to commit to at least 20 minutes a day. And maybe it's more. But it's deciding to have the new habits, is that the energy matched with the integrity is you realize what you represent with doTERRA. doTERRA is the name of a culture. doTERRA is the name of transformation. You're all change agents. And that you literally are guides for other people to help them change their life while you're in the process of changing your own life. And that's an ongoing relationship. But I'm asking you to commit or recommit to saying, I'm really going to prioritize me. Not tinker with, but I've decided. I've made a decision. I'm going to up-level me. I'm going to be diligent about my lifelong vitality. I'm going to be diligent about my water intake. I'm going to make a decision right here and now that I don't start my day unless I've done at least 10 minutes, the sacred 10 of purpose or prayer or connection or breathing or meditation or yoga, or again, that walk or something. I'm going to get myself in a space where I'm going to invest in the vessel. All of you are a vessel for so much light, right? Like when I think about these bottles, they're like bottles of light, literally. They have healing properties. They have, I don't know if you can say healing properties, by the way, and we're on a recording. You get me though, right? But they literally have a powerful, powerful energy. And they have helped me heal things. So I'll say that loud and proud, but just don't put me on your Facebook about it. So the point being is like, hey, we are part of something that's powerful, and you're a vessel, but you must invest in the vessel. If you want skimpy results, keep giving yourself skimpy self-care. And if you want abundance results, then you give yourself abundance of an investment. Does that make sense? To see everything is a match game in the universe, what you might call the law of attraction. And all of us might say, I have $1 million dreams and $10 self-care. Oh, sorry for that mic drop. There's a total disconnect there. Is I have $1 million dreams, or I want $1 million rank, but I have minimum wage or $10 self-care. And I'm not saying it's about the dollar amount, it's about the energy that's invested. Is you're all walking billboards, right? How many of you are getting what I'm really talking about is up-leveling our energy commitment to ourselves and to our own wellness and well-being. We're wellness advocates. We're in advocacy of wellness and being that which we share and what we represent, right? So I think we've spent enough time on that. I just want to say that I feel so strongly that that is indeed the fuel, that if you really want to grow your business, then you'll grow your self-care and your habits in that way. And you know what those are. You ask yourself, you're the coach of your own life. What is it that I want more of? What is it that I want or need that I'm craving for myself? Okay. As we transition to go on to this second sheet, there's 3 sheets. The second sheet, technically, I want you to go to the third sheet, which talks about nourishing your relationships, and we'll come into this. I do want to share with you, though, a program that I host 4 times a year that I want you all to know about, and then we'll go through that business training here as our remainder of our time. But there's a course I've been teaching for 6 years called Success Academy. I know maybe some of you on this thread have gone through it. How many of you have gone through Success Academy? If you have, you can pop in and say hello on that chat box. The Success Academy is what I privately coach in a group coaching situation at a fraction of the cost of my private coaching or group mastermind coaching. And the power of it is it's principle-based, and I share it with you, and once you purchase it once, you own it for a lifetime. So for those of you in the comments saying yes and yes and yes and so forth, just be reminded you have the capacity to go back and to review that as much as you'd like. As well as if you ever, as a returning student, want to go through another live session, you're able to do that at 50% off if you'd like to go through the live coaching. But I teach these 8 weeks, and each week we go through a different principle. We lead out with self-care and self-confidence. We move into week 2 as goals. Week 3 is productivity and time blocking. Week 4 is how to nourish your relationships and your network. Week 5 is branding and your messaging. Week 6 is publicity and how to share your message with more people. Week 7 is your sales funnel and how to cultivate a consistency of lead flow. And week 8 is how to close more sales through what you're asking through the 5 gates process. So in that 8-week series, it also then has, I teach the content 1 day a week, and then 1 day a week we have a live coaching Q&A session. We also have a private Facebook group where you can ask as much as you'd like in the interim of those live Q&A sessions. You also have the option to get into a accountability partnership while you go through the program as well. So I love it. It's transformational. If you'll show up and do the work, you'll need about 3 hours a week to actively participate and do the assignments. It isn't busy work, but they are foundational assignments to help support you in the growth of yourself, your self-confidence, and your sales. And so if that's something that speaks to you, you can check that out at coachwithtiffany.com is the website, coachwithtiffany.com. And I have a $100 off coupon code with all caps, the word New Year. We'll take $100 off, where I just love, love, love supporting the Goddards and anyone attached to their organization to give you a little bonus to that. You can pay in full or you can put it in 3 payments. That's up to you, but it's a powerful process that I love to do. And my next group kicks off January 28th is when my first year, I teach this 4 times a year. That code will be just for the January group, but if you'd like to, you feel drawn to that, I'd love to have you involved. If you have questions or you want more information or you'd like to do a free coaching consultation with a member of my team, you're welcome to do that. You can go to info@tiffanyspeaks.com and email my team. Or if you'd like to do a free coaching consultation on my website, also at tiffanyspeaks.com, is the coaching consultation form. If you'd like, if you're saying, oh, maybe I want to explore that, go check out coachwithtiffany.com. And if you're like, I'm ready to go, great, sign up. Again, remember to use code New Year, all caps. And then if you are clear that, or you're saying, gosh, I'm not sure, I'd like some more information, then you can definitely do a free coaching session and a member of my team will help you with your own goals and clarity, right? So if you want to have that written down, again, so Caroline's asking, where do we go for that training? Again, go to coachwithtiffany.com is the website. And I think, yes, Andy has put it in the chat box. Coachwithtiffany.com is just the Success Academy coaching website. And again, that code is New Year. Or you can also go to my main website, which is tiffanyspeaks.com, and click on the coaching tab, and it will also lead you in that direction. But I just want you to know about that as a resource. Is I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people in doTERRA now, and I love it. It's such a joy, such a passion, and it's something that if you're having a resonance to say, I'd like some formal support, I'd like some structure, right? Rather than kind of trying to do it myself, I'd like some structure week in and week out. And to have that. And again, once you buy it, you own it for a lifetime that you can go back through. So just want to share that with you. Now let's go on to this third final sheet that you've been able to download, and it's the Nourish Your Relationship. So if you don't have the worksheets in front of you, you can do the same thing as to make a grid. And we're going to look at relationships. So we've just come from nourishing you. Now we're like the perfect blend over, right? Where they cross, or the yin yang is nourish you, nourish others, is that all of us are in the relationship business, right? It's what I call the people principle. And that we're in the business of connecting and nourishing and adding value to and solving problems for and cultivating relationship attributes like love and empathy and listening and so forth that help us nourish and invest in relationships. But for those of you that are saying, yes, I'm ready to grow my business to the next level, we've covered foundationally taking care of you. And now let's talk about the next level in, which is taking care of others, right? Is obviously how you're going to grow your business is by nourishing your existing team, developing relationships with existing leaders, as well as cultivating relationship with new relationship, right? So let's look at those 4 quadrants. Top left is relationships, personal, right? So family and friendships, that they bring so much joy, so much juice, so much love. And I just invite you to become intentional about that and to perhaps write down a few things in that top left-hand corners. What are some things you'd like to experience more of in your relationships with family and friends this year? Maybe you want to get more intentional and that you go to lunch with at least, 1 or 2 friends a month. And you say, I really want to be more intentional to see my girlfriends or my guy friends or my whoever friends more this year. Or maybe family, it's like, I want to have date night with each of my kids once a month. Maybe you have 3 or 4 kids and you're saying, I want one-on-one time with them. And they each get maybe a week where we go on a daddy-daughter or father-son or mother-son or mother-daughter date, type of thing. Or a date with your spouse if applicable, right? Or nourishing, again, family, friends, that you're spending time, but to be intentional with time there. Or maybe cards or compliments, or maybe you're really clear, hey, I want to develop my ability to ask better questions also at home, not just in business. I want to be a better listener, right? And then you say, great, these are some of the attributes or intentions that I want to invest in my family and in my friendships. I know for some people that, I have some incredible friends. I mean, truly, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it was a clear intention a few years back where I got really intentional to say, I really want to have deeper friendships, right? And I want to show up for that. And how do I need to show up and invest and make the time and so forth? Is that intention was then followed up with action, right? So it's looking at that for yourself. Top right-hand quadrant is existing leaders, right? Is thinking about in relationships, how can you best nourish your existing leaders? That might be through mentoring. You might have a weekly, Zoom or Skype, or it might be in person. You grab tea together, you get pedicures. Or you might say, I'm going to do a quarterly make and take class, right? I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of you gathering your people together to connect. right? I know many of you do that around convention. You might have a convention gathering or at leadership or things like that. But whether your team is virtual, you might choose, like this month, a great example is do a virtual vision board setting. Excuse me, I'm trying to say too many V's. Do a virtual vision board class if a lot of your team are not in your same area, right? If they are in your area, you can always Skype them in, or you can say, hey, everyone come to our next class with your vision board done, and you're each going to take a few minutes and share the things that matter to you, or some of the images, right? That's a way that you could do it in person, or you can do it on Zoom. You could have book clubs, or you choose to read a book a month or a book a quarter, or you could choose to do things. But again, like I was saying, I'm a really big fan of like the make and take, of the lifestyle where you're just regularly nourishing people back in the lifestyle, and that you might take a quarterly theme, right? One theme, one quarter might be self-care, and one might be flu fighting, and one might be healthy recipes, and one might be healthy home, right? Or a new year, new you kind of thing. And let's talk about oils and products that support you. It's just that we gather in a way, and of course you can always invite new people to those things, but your existing leaders, they're being nourished in product, nourished in education, nourished in value, and that we're nourishing them in a way that helps us expand our culture of our existing leaders. So come up with a few. I'm curious, do you want to share any of those in the box? What are some things you've done or are going to do to nourish your existing leaders, right? Let's share, because this is a powerful group and you can glean some great gems from one another. So I'd like you to drop into that, is to share a couple thoughts. How do you want to nourish your existing leaders? Bottom left hand. Okay, I want to read some of these first. So Victoria's saying Aroma Touch, self-care day with my leaders. I love that. Quarterly dinner. I love that. Lunch date going over 2018 success and goals for 2019. I do. I love that, right? It's to gather with them. And if they are, again, if they're out of state, get on Zoom together and say, hey, grab your favorite tea, or I'm going to send you a gift card to Starbucks. Go grab your favorite coffee or tea, and then let's get on Zoom together, right? Or, hey, I've sent you, grab lunch, and we'll do it, again, via Skype or Zoom, and we can have these kinds of beautiful conversations of saying, what are our wins? What are our goals? Let's co-create together. You can do that as a large group. You can do it one-on-one. Lots of things that you can be focused on for yourselves. Any other ideas? What do you love to do to nourish? Do you have recognition programs in place? I'm curious about that. Do you do things like that to help nourish your people, right? I love that. Christy's got a great idea in the chat box as well. I love that. Share. Thank you for sharing that. Is recognizing leaders for things they've done and expand on their gifts. Yes, for sure. Love it. The I appreciate you goes a long way. Bottom left-hand corner is nourishing cross-line leaders or peers, right? Is the power of the peer relationship. Right, a lot of your leaders, obviously, I know Natalie and Andy just got back from, and some of you were likely there as well. Misha, I see you're on here. I'm so excited to see you, girl, be over there. But just got back from Hawaii, right? Being in a great retreat, doing something very similar of cross-line supporting and masterminding and sharing is nourishing your peer relationships, right? And so thinking about that. Now, if you're not blue or presidential and you say, oh, I got to wait till I'm there to get there, absolutely not. Is connect with and follow other great leaders and support them and collaborate and brainstorm. But I would nourish those relationships too, as there's so much power in the peer, right? Like I'm regularly connecting. I serve in my local chapter for the National Speaker Association, as I serve on their board this will be my 4th year and my final year. And because you can only do it for 4 years. But the point being is like, I'm regularly connecting with other speakers and coaches and learning from them and supporting them. And I'm part of a great group called the Association of Transformational Leaders. And we meet twice a year in Brainstorm and for Weekend. And these are other fellow authors and speakers and trainers and so forth. And we gather. And I think the power of gathering or connecting or talking with other people that are peer-like and learning from your peers, being inspired by them, that even again, if they're not on your downline or in your business, but man, learn from others, right? But nourish those relationships too. Same types of thing, lunches, sending a gift, thanking them, connecting, elaborating, taking them to lunch, that type of thing, I think makes a really big difference. And then finally, bottom left, right-hand quadrant is new relationships. When you think about growing and nourishing your business, I want you to think in terms of time as at least 50-50. And based on where your business is at will determine the actual distribution of time. When someone's brand new to doTERRA, they're spending a lot of time, 90% of their time, obviously, in nourishing new relationships and sampling and classes and so forth. Once, again, if you're in a class like this today, you're already achieving certain ranks of leadership, then you already have people in your team. And so now it's maybe more like 50-50 as you're spending time. 50% of your time is in mentoring and nourishing and acknowledgement and recognition of your existing leaders. And then 50% of your time you're out at a new networking group, or you're following and nourishing and connecting with new people online, or going out to a live event or hosting classes to meet and connect with new people to share doTERRA with, is thinking about that based on where your organization is at. But no matter your relationship rank or where your business is at, I am going to invite you to spend intentional time cultivating new relationship as well. So some of the things I have some of my clients who are already at 6 or 7 figures doing, I'd invite you, no matter where you're at, but if they already have like a diamond or above business, I'm also encouraging them for 2 reasons. One, to say, hey, go out to a personal development event that's not doTERRA hosted. One, you'll grow your own mindset and your own content, but go meet other high achieving people who are spending money to be in the room, whether it's, Tony Robbins' event or Brendan Burchard's event, or they're going out to something like that to help nourish themselves and develop themselves, is a powerful way of helping grow your mindset and your skills, but also meeting other people, right? But thinking about new relationships, even when you're a seasoned leader, I still want you having things like the basics of having samples on you at any time. Obviously, your contact information. I still think there's huge value in hosting, maybe if it's a class once a month, or at minimal, at least say quarterly. I know one-on-ones and other ways, or online webinars, there's a lot of ways we can connect. But I just want you to be in that space of thinking about, I'm intentionally spending time cultivating new relationships, right? Like I have 2 lunch dates this week set up with 2 different women who are involved in 2 different businesses and industries. And one I've gone to lunch with before and spent a little more time with. And one, it will be our first lunch date, right? And we've known each other and met each other a handful of times in different circles. And so we've crossed paths and follow each other on Instagram. And let's get some time on the calendar, right? Is spending time with people in person or on Zoom are great ways for you to be nourishing your relationships and always growing the new, right? Is both. Sometimes the challenges in sales is people put all their energy on growing the new and they neglect their existing or previous clientele. And I think that is a really big no-no, right? Big no-no from the fact that you want to nourish the people that already bring you a life force. People that are already helping pay your mortgage, my loves. We want to take a portion of that and give back to them. We want to nourish them and help them feel loved and valued. Everyone in your life, yourself included, will never outgrow the need to feel important, to feel seen, to feel appreciated, to feel significant. But in sales and in life, it's an area we can tend to take for granted. We can neglect it. And I just want to say this, the natural law of anything in life is what you water will grow and what you ignore will die, right? Or atrophy. And so it's being aware of our relationships, right? Same with our health, right? If we nourish our health, it will thrive and grow. If we neglect our health, with time, it will atrophy and create challenge. Well, same thing in relationship is sometimes we know that in the beginning of a relationship, right? When we're courting someone, we're dating someone, but it's looking at long-term. Hey, maybe I need to nourish my home life. Maybe I need to nourish my existing leaders. Or maybe I didn't say thank you. I should, gosh, that crossline leader who sent me that document, I should put a thank you note in the mail with a Starbucks gift card or gratitude or a shout out to them or something like that. Is that you're doing things to, again, nourish your existing relationships. I'm a big believer if you take care of your existing relationships, your relationships will help take care of your business, right? Some great gems, some things I know. Some of these things, I'm just going to go back and review these core questions and templates that I invite you to do every single month, every quarter, and definitely every year. Number 1, what are your wins and victories for the year, for the month, for the quarter? Acknowledge your wins and victories. If you have not celebrated your current rank, I want you to do that immediately, like this week. Number 2 is looking at your 2018. What were your life lessons and moving forward through the month or the quarter? What were your life lessons that that month or that quarter or that year was teaching you? Number 3 is looking at less of and more of. What do you want less of or more of in your life this month, this quarter, or this year? And taking time to flush those lists out, right? Number 4 is what are you craving more of, and to honor that. And then we went through in detail those 4 quadrants for personal and your own self-care, right? For body, mind, heart, and spirit, and what you're going to create and commit to. I invite you, if I was to say, what are a few hacks, right? Sometimes success hacks or biohacks or something. Visualization is a powerful success hack that can make a huge difference. Is taking time to play the movie, as I like to call that, and visualizing and seeing yourself, how you show up, seeing yourself healthy, happy, connecting, serving, seeing yourself on that stage at convention, hearing your name called and your song played, and you're absorbing and receiving all that love and seeing all of our faces there cheering you on, right? But that would definitely be one. We also talked about you're going to commit to cleaning up a space and commit to a powerful vision board that really inspires you. Those are a few assignments. So if you want to share them with me, I'd love to see them as well. And then finally, number 5, we talked about looking at the nourishing of your relationships and that quadrant, right? Is taking time to be intentional, nourish yourself and nourish others. Is you're always in the relationship game, right? You're always, always, always in relationship. And it's being intentional about how we show up there. I'm so thankful to have spent this time with you together. I'm grateful. I love Andy and Natalie Goddard, and I love their team. It's so fun to see some familiar names here in the chat box. And seriously, just cheering you on for an incredible year. Remember, the year doesn't work off a calendar. It works off of energy. And to be in the energetic alignment, pay attention to that this year. Is what energy lane am I traveling? Am I in the alignment of what it is that I want to be? All of you are already, like the energy we activated, you're already her or already him of the energy of what you want to create. Acknowledge the Goddards. They're the one that created this space for you. They're the ones that have cultivated a relationship with me with whatever they ask, I'm going to do because of who they are and how they show up. They're incredible, but they love you and they serve you and they love to see you win. So thank you, Andy and Natalie, for having me. And I just am so thrilled to see what happens on the Share Success team this year.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. What a gift. Wow. I hope that everyone here has enjoyed this time as much as I have. I know that this is foundational work. Just getting the headspace clear, getting the heart clear so that you can move forward with so much more power. So thank you, Tiffany. We love you, and sending all of our love to all of you on the call, sending you all of our blessings for an incredible 2019 and beyond.
Thanks, everyone.